More Nigerians assess the Buhari administration economic performance 3 years on. Fiscal Responsibility Commission remits 650 billion naira operating surplus into Consolidated Revenue Fund (CRF). Central Bank offers $48 million to operators of Bureau de Change. I am Musa Abubakar and I'll be your guide on today's edition of Business Express. Welcome to the program. In the news today, the acting chairman, Fiscal Responsibility Commission, Victor Morocco, says more than 650 billion naira has been remitted as operating surplus into the Consolidated Revenue Fund, CRF, in the last 2 years. He said it was part of the RC's mandate to ensure that scheduled corporations under the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007 remit 80% of their operating surplus into the CRF. He said the FRA has, within the first quarter of 2018, remitted about 49.7 billion naira into the CRF. Under the present administration, there had been a lot of improvement in payment of operating surpluses, adding that more corporations were added to the schedule in 2016. The chairman also said that FRC undertook verification of selected federal government capital projects in 2017 to ensure accountability in federal government's capital projects. In other business development, Bureau de Change operators, BDCs, on Wednesday accessed foreign exchange to the tune of about $48 million from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. About 80% of the more than 3,000 BDCs expectedly participated in the auction, where each operator accessed a total of $20,000 each on Monday. The development moderated Naira-dollar exchange rate. The CBN had said all BDCs shall access Forex from CBN on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, saying it is compulsory that all BDCs access Forex at least 3 times weekly. The CBN also mandated all deposit money banks to buy and sell foreign exchange to travelers, both customers and non-customers, upon presentation of relevant valid travel documents such as visa and ticket over the counter. The move is to ensure that eligible travelers are able to access foreign exchange and make liquidity available in the market. The CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, on Monday paid unscheduled visit to some deposit money banks in Abuja to monitor compliance. The Central Bank of Nigeria has provided funds to power distribution companies for the purchase of over 700,000 meters and for the acquisition and installation of more than 500 transformers. The bank has also paid more than 24 billion naira to gas suppliers and rehabilitated more than 2,000 kilometers of 11 kV lines and 130 kilometers of 0.45 kV lines in a bid to avert the collapse of the country's power sector. The CBN said its intervention in the power sector was through the Nigerian Electricity Market Stabilization Facility, as captured in the NEMSF progress report. which was presented to operators in the industry at the 27th Power Sector Monthly Meeting. Since Nigeria moved up about 25 points in the last World Bank Ease of Doing Business ranking, the country has reclaimed her place as Africa's preferred investment destination. This, experts say, is part of the gains of deliberate and focused initiatives by the Buhari administration, which scored Nigeria high in areas such as access to credit, permits registration, and enforcing contracts. Seun Olagunju examines how Nigeria is taking advantage of the results of the reforms.
A country rich in vast natural and human resources, Nigeria was a natural magnet for foreign investors, with multinationals establishing major hubs and factories in Nigeria. However, factors like corruption, power supply and lack of enabling environment impacted negatively on their profits, leading to the exit of many, some to neighboring countries.
The bureaucratic bottlenecks, the number of toll gates that you have to cross is so scary that I'm sure that a lot of these guys would have just thought, why don't I move just to the next environment?
The good news is that the recent initiatives like the Presidential Enabling Business Council PEBEC and the Focus Labs are bringing the much-needed investments back.
PEBEC has implemented a series of national action plans, targeted interventions aimed at dismantling specific bottlenecks around business and property registration, access to finance, payment of taxes, import and export of goods, entry into and exit from Nigeria, and so on. On account of these reforms, the World Bank recognized Nigeria as one of the top 10 most improved economies in the world in 2017, and the IMF cited the business climate reforms.
Today, we are able to generate 7,000 megawatts. The DISCOs are willing 5,000. Transmission company is able to transport almost everything that is being produced.
We clearly have a responsibility as government to make it easier for you to do business in the country.
The government proudly invites serious investors to take advantage of Nigeria's ever-growing and conducive investment climate, promising limitless opportunities and great yields.
Everything from starting a business to registering for taxes, to how our labor laws work, how land can be acquired. All this information is available online. It's available in over 100 languages. So investors, can get information on investing in Nigeria. We also try to make it easier for investors to get information on investment incentives that exist in Nigeria.
With all the work done in brightening the nation's investment climate by improving infrastructure, anti-corruption war, justice reforms and security, as well as Nigeria's huge and mostly young population, the government says investing in Nigeria now is the way to go. It is a win-win for all.
To put in proper perspective how the economy fared in terms of commerce, trade and industry is Prince Adetokunbo Kayode, Chairman, Abuja Chambers of Commerce and Industry. He is a former minister of the Federation who held sway in 4 ministries and is also a senior advocate of Nigeria. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
We also have joining us Fabian Ogore. He is a management consultant with ICOMPART Research. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, looking at the Nigerian economy in the past 3 years, how would you assess commercial and trade activities?
Well, you know, the economy was going down just before 2015, and of course that slide continued, leading to the recession. But we have bounced back. The economy is safely out of recession, and I think we can only go up now, even though we dare not start thumping our chests and congratulating ourselves that all is now totally well. We have lots of challenges, but the prospects are very good. All we need to do now is to identify those challenges and see how we can optimize on what we do. But yes, the economy is on an upward swing, and I think all over the world, kudos is being given to the economy of Nigeria.
Okay. Okay, what's your assessment?
Well, I think indeed, just like the Prince said, the economy is on upward swing. We have resurged from the recession. And this is as a result of the central bank monetary policies and some other of the government policies that were put into place to ensure that there is availability of forex for manufacturers to get in the machineries and raw materials for production. And then also I want to commend the government, because the government, you know, plowing money into projects, which of course, you know, increase the circulation of currency within the country. So yes, the economy is doing great.
Okay, well, what would you say were the attractions and what posed challenges to these sectors?
Indeed, forex was a big challenge, because by the time the government was coming in, you know, we had recession. We were just coming into the recession, and then of course there was increase in the dollar to the naira exchange, and that was a big challenge for importers, for manufacturers. So the moment the government is able to, you know, increase the reserve as well as make forex available, that's, you know, of course, encourage more importers to import more goods, manufacturers to start manufacturing more products. So that's actually balanced the economy.
Okay, has the small and medium enterprise sector got the deserved attention?
Well, I see a desire of government to engage with the SMEs. No doubt about it. But and all the discussions, all the conversations as well as to how do we make the SMEs more productive, how do they have access to funding. And you see that government has also, through the CBN and other interventions, have tried to make funds available. But the challenge has been and remains the mechanism for accessing this funding. The framework still remains the same. Even when government intends to give single-digit interest rate, the conditionalities push the threshold actually above the single-digit, and you find out that there's a lot of opaqueness about the whole thing. So one of the challenges that government must continue to work hard at is to ensure that we come into terms with the challenge of the system for funding and craft out a way whereby funding can be made available to the SMEs. That is one. Two, and before even I go to two, and I want to suggest, because it's not enough to say do it, we need to support government by suggesting that, look, let there be some level of peer, not a peer review, but a mechanism determined by the peer group within the SME sector, whereby the chambers of commerce or the NASME, Association of Small and Medium Enterprise, or NASI, Association of Small-Scale Industrialists, should be able to do a peer review of the funding mechanism, a system whereby if the association is able to determine that ABC SMEs can access this and they can start funding, they should be able to, based on that, give them funding. Take it out of this vicious circle of the commercial banking system, whereby what the demand, the conditionality is far beyond the ability of the SMEs there to do that. Now, the second issue is policy. There is, you see, ease of doing business policy, which government is trying to, of course, government have seen that there's a serious challenge a policy, serious policy deficit and implementation deficit. That's why there's a lot of effort by the Vice President to push on reviewing, reforming the sector, the enabling environment to doing business. The biggest impact is on the SMEs. Because if you have to start business, you cannot do without a tax clearance. It's a new business. Tax clearance is, in quote, free, but in fact, it is not free. It will cost you money. NAFDAC license is not free, but even the official fee, you spend maybe 4 or 5 times that before you can get it. They said with all the other regulatory bodies, is very, even the Corporate Affairs Commission, even the cost of registering business. I'm talking about SMEs now. It's very important that a specific policy that will be beneficial policy for the purposes of the SMEs, so that they could actually be able to start this business. And don't forget that SMEs ranges from papa, mama, front courtyard business to whatever, you know. So you have to find a way to really focus on them and target them. And this can be done by further engaging with the OPS, the organized private sector that deal with the SMEs, the Chambers of Commerce, as I said, the NASME and the NASI, and maybe a few other organizations that cater specifically for the interests of these groups. That is the foundation of every economy. That is the real evidence of growth. We can talk of GDP, we can talk of indexes and all that stuff, but the bottom line is that whatever is your increase in your GDP or your developmental statistics and indices, it must reflect in the growth, the actual growth of your industries, SMEs, and your people, the impact on the pocket and the ability to eat and survive.
Okay, Mr. Fabian, how would you rate the performance of foreign direct investment in the last 3 years?
Well, rating that would require a lot of data, but I would say that it's not been really fantastic, bearing in mind the security challenges we have and the political instability in the country at the moment. So foreign direct investment has not been really fantastic because, of course, you equally need fantastic infrastructure to attract investors. Investors will not come to an environment where they are not sure what the political position will be for the next couple of years, minimum 10 to 20 years. So the foreign direct investment has not been really good. But again, like I said earlier, we need data to prove whether it's right or wrong.
Okay, Nigeria has been in and out of recession. During that period, how would you assess the performance of local investors?
Well, I would give local investors 100% because they actually revived the economy. Why I said that is because, again, I would also give some kudos to the government because the government began to encourage investors to look at agriculture, which ordinarily we were not focused on. So the local investors began to invest more in agric and then exportation. Now we export yam to the United States. We export yam to the United Kingdom. So indeed, I would say the local investors played a great role with support from the government, you know, to revive the economy.
Okay. Okay. Can you speak, Mr. Kayode, can you speak to us about the trade agreements and its ties in the last 3 years?
The trade
agreements.
Well, first of all, I think that in respect of trade, again, there's challenge of policies.
Okay.
We have serious challenge about policy, even though I don't want to, if you start to discuss about the African continental free trade zone now, I don't know whether that's what you have in mind. We will not leave, we may take a little time, but the important thing is this. Government must be clear about its policy. And that is government that makes policy in consultation, of course, with the private sector. Okay? The platform for consultation does not really exist. We all assume it does exist, but it really does not.
As in consultation?
Yes, let me explain.
Okay.
You have NASIMA, for instance. NASIMA has about 70 chambers under it. It's the national umbrella for all chambers of commerce. We have MAN, Manufacturers Association. It also has branches all over Nigeria. We have NASI, we have NASME, we have Association of Nigerian Traders. So there are various organizations, various agri sector organizations, and so on and so forth. There's need to create a platform that will integrate all of this together.
Okay.
So that it will be easy for government to engage, whichever way you want to go. Take, for instance, we have serious challenges with employment. 52% of our youth are underemployed or unemployed. Our population is growing at rate for the past 45 years, at growing average of about 2.6 every year. And since last year, we're adding up another 5 million every year.
Okay.
That is a lot of people to cope for. So we need to be very clear about our policy. Look, I agree with my friend that yes, there are challenges about the FDIs and all that. But the truth is that if the policy is clear, getting foreign direct investment is not a problem, because we have the population. People want the market. People also know the resilience of Nigeria. They know their strength. They know our intellectual capability. But you need to be clear about your policy. So where the government has, as far as I'm concerned, not done enough is ensure clarity of policy. Ease of doing business, a lot of effort has made in the past 2 years. But I see the tendency to begin to beat chests that, oh, we have done it. We have not. We have started. We need to continue to do it. We need to continue to do it well, consistently over a period of time. Okay. Then we'll get it sorted out. But the important thing is that there has to be consultation. The economy is not run only by government. It's run also both by the private sector and the public sector. So a steady platform was made for them to continue to work together at all times.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Adetokunbo Kayode and Fabian Ogori. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been a 7-day losing streak at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, even as the market was closed Tuesday in commemoration of the nation's Democracy Day celebration. Amina Nujen has details of the market performance.
The 28th of May 2018, the equities market closed on a negative note as the Nigerian Stock Exchange OSHA Index depreciated by 0.75% to close at 39,028.51 basis points. This is against 1.01% depreciation recorded on Friday. Its year-to-date returns currently stands at 2.05%. 222 million equities exchange hands among investors in 4,461 deals worth 1.6 billion naira. Dangote Cement, Flour Mill and Eterna Oil led the gainers, while WAPCO, MRS and Guarantee were the top losers. ICO, Access Bank and FBN Holdings emerged the most traded equities of the day. Tuesday, 29th of May, the stock market remained closed to mark Democracy Day.
Global stocks are not having a nice time either. Moplan Dakok has an overview of the global capital market.
Across Africa were in bear territory Tuesday. South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40 lost 1.84%. Kenya's Nairobi All Share Index dropped 0.37%. And Tunisia's Tun Index depreciated 0.27%. Namibia Overall Index closed at a negative minus 1.75%, as Ghana's JSE Composite Index lost 0.51% to close at 3,277.55 basis points. Traders are catching their breath after an unprecedented Italian bond slump on Tuesday spilled over into global risk assets. European stocks closed negative. FTSE 100 index depreciated by 1.26%. DAX index lost 1.53% and CAC 40 index went down 1.29%. Stocks in the United States also came crashing down. Stocks in the U.S. also came crashing down. Dow Jones Industrial Average slumped off as much as 1.58%. S&P 500 lost 1.16%, and Nasdaq Composite Index also lost 0.50%. In Asia, the story was no different. Nikkei 225 depreciated 0.56%. Hang Seng Index also depreciated 1.00%. And China's Shanghai 300 Index slumped 0.76%.
Oil prices changed a little Wednesday as attention shifts to U.S. supply data. Let's see a graphic representation of global commodities as compiled by Bosede Ebel. That concludes our package today on Business Express. Do join us on Friday for another time on Business Express. I am Musa Abubakar. Thanks for watching.